We had two teams playing in the Big Ten, Grambling playing Ohio State, and how about Northwestern State after its first win in 2.5 years at Minnesota? First play of the game, Abram Johnston getting the start on the road, and it did not go well. He liked that one back. Very first play, watch John Nestor as it takes Johnston just a little too long to get the ball set in his hands. He jumps the route, he takes it in, and it's 7-0 Minnesota, 6 seconds into this ball game. 6 minutes now into the quarter. Darius Taylor, 17 yards, he goes left side, gets it all the way down to the 1. Almost gets it in, but on the very next play, A.J. Turner does the honors. 7 plays, 50 yards for Minnesota, and it's 14-0 Gophers. 4 minutes later, Lameek Brockington, quick handoff here, 21-0 Gophers, takes it into the left side. A rough outing for Blaine McCorkle's Demons in the first 15 minutes. Didn't get much better in the second or the third. Drake Lindsey takes it in from 1 yard out. It's 28-0. You want to get out of this quarter in a hurry, but 40 seconds to go, and 2 plays later, Abram Johnston with the pass to Zay Davis. He gets hit, fumbles it. It's a scoop and score for Minnesota. They would go on to win it 66-0. The game called with 6 minutes to go because of lightning. It was a rough afternoon for the Demons.
Yeah, they're bigger, they're better, they're stronger than us. It's Big Ten football, right? But when you play these games, you have to be clean, and we weren't clean in the first half in those moments, and that let the game get away from us maybe a little bit more than it should. But with that being said, I am proud of our guys. I think they did show up to fight. I think they did show up and try to play hard. And I think that, success is defined as improvement. That's what we talked about in the locker room. And I think we're, even with the score today, opponent aside, we're an improved football team. Last year we played a much lesser FBS team than this and got beat a whole lot worse. And the sideline didn't feel like it did today. The energy didn't feel like it did today. We've come a long way from those things last year. And that goes back to the comment that this team right now is hard not to love. I think they're trying to figure some things out. So I am proud of them for that.
Temperatures were in the 50s in this ball game, and it was a cold day for Northwestern State's offense. The Gophers, 35 points in the first quarter, the most they've scored in a quarter since 1973. Just 2 first downs and 42 total yards. You heard Coach say they were just bigger, they're stronger. It was an experience. They learned from it. They come back home for a week to work. Then they're back on the road at Cincinnati against a team from the Big 12 on the road next Saturday afternoon. But before this game and before they traveled to Minnesota, I had a chance to catch up with Coach McCorkle to talk about the direction of his program, especially coming off of its first win in 2.5 years. I know all the work that goes into it and the determination. You have been preaching about this team and your belief in this team since media days. You had a quote that we've mentioned a couple times already on our show that I love. You said, we're bringing in players here that aren't running from something, they're running to something. Can you maybe develop that a little bit and for viewers to understand what that means about the athletes you were bringing in for a team that hasn't won since 2022? Because since day one, you've been talking about the character of this team.
Yeah, well, from a high school perspective, really that doesn't apply to them as much, but we do want guys who believe in our vision and see this as an opportunity because all the high school kids we've signed in our last 2 classes have really come on blind faith and nothing else, just a belief in a vision and the message we're sharing. But that quote is directed more to the transfer kids because so many times in the portal, guys are running from something. They're running from maybe a coach that was hard on them or a failed drug test or bad academics or an off-the-field issue. What we're looking for with our portal kids are kids who are simply just running to an opportunity to play and compete at the highest level they can. And I think that's what we've been able to do with our portal kids. We haven't brought any baggage in with any of our portal kids, and that's very important, and our staff does a good job vetting those guys. And we want guys that are excited to be here, want to be here, and are thankful for the opportunity. And it's not just a place to make a quick stop and move on.
I know the portal kids, especially in this day of college football, it's a very big thing, Coach. But I also know on your roster, you are very heavy Louisiana-based athletes. Why is that so important for you to getting these Louisiana kids there in Natchitoches?
Well, why would you not? I mean, there's no better high school in America than right here in the state of Louisiana. And I don't know how many years it's been, but for years, the NFL stats that come out that, tell us that per capita, this state has more NFL players than anywhere in the country for a small state with a small population. So there's incredible talent here. And I think, too, Natchitoches is a small town. It's as Louisiana as it gets, even though we're in North Louisiana. This is a very Louisiana town. There's no doubt about it. And, when you get the local kids and grandma can come see them play, their high school buddies can come see them play, it means something to them. And they want to play hard, and they want to stay, and they want to stick it out. Where, if I'm bringing in a kid from California or New York or Michigan, why do they really want to come here? And are they going to come here to stay? So, retention is the key to all this thing. So we want to have homegrown kids that being at Northwestern State matters. They want to stick it out and see it through and get a degree and be a good teammate and be proud to be alums of Northwestern State. And I think, an older player is a better player, and that allows us to, in time, develop older players that are a little more invested. So I think it's a good recipe. And right now in our first two classes, we're 82% of our high school kids are from Louisiana, and that's more than any other Division I school in the state, and some of them by more than double.
On your personnel, quarterback Abram Johnston, quite a game he played at Parkview Baptist here in the Baton Rouge area where we're recording from. Very selective on his passing game, Coach, but he showed his legs as well in that opening win at Alcorn State. Talk about his contributions and what you saw in the development in that game.
Yeah, he's a tough, gritty kid. He's just a great competitor. And, everybody down there in your area in Baton Rouge that kind of grew up watching him play high school football there at Parkview knows exactly what I'm talking about. This kid loves to compete. He's tough. And I got a lot of trust in him. Our team has a lot of faith in him. He does have the ability to throw the ball well. He was actually our leading rusher Thursday night against Alcorn. And as the game went on, that was definitely by design. After we had the lightning delay for a while, I didn't want to go into another one. I wanted to get the game over with. We had a lead, so we really were trying to get first downs, run the ball, eat the clock, get it over with, and go celebrate because we were not going to let that one get away from us, and we for sure didn't want another lightning delay where they may call a no contest or something like that. So that was by design as the game went on, but he is definitely a true dual threat, and he can do a lot of things for us, and it's going to be fun to watch him grow. He's still just a redshirt freshman, so He's got a lot of really good football ahead of him.
A lot of experience for him to keep moving. And how about, can you think of a better start of the season for Ty Moore? He catches a touchdown, then he goes and picks up a punt, scoop and score. He's got 2 on the board. He hadn't even made it to the end of the first quarter at a halftime yet. He already has 2 under his belt.
Yeah, that's right. He's one of those kids that we were talking about that was running to something, not from something. His dad played at Northwestern State as a tight end here. His dad's Glenn Moore, who's the head softball coach at Baylor, and a lot of people down in Baton Rouge know him from his time at LSU. And then his mom is in the Hall of Fame here at Northwestern as a track athlete. So he's Northwestern State through and through, and he's one of those kids that transferred here when we came here, and he was coming to an opportunity. He's exactly what we're talking about. And to see him have some success in game one, we were really excited for him, and he loves this place, and he loves his teammates, and he's going to have a really good year. We haven't seen the last of him. He'll make a lot of plays before this year is over.
Well, we'll look forward to seeing him make some big plays for you throughout the season. Coach, before I let you go, let me just finish on this. I enjoyed watching your post-game interview. I saw the AD come up and hug you, and I saw the tears and the celebration. So as you're moving forward, you finally got that weight off your shoulders, and you've got that win. As you approach the team now, how do you continue building that confidence? And then you got a big challenge, as you mentioned, with Minnesota. Then you go Big 12. Then you start getting into South End Conference, which is no slouch, as we all know. It's an outstanding conference you play in. But now that weight is off your shoulder, does it change anything, or how you talk to the guys about now carrying that level that you've reached already?
Yeah, it really does. There was so much talk here about streaks and how many days it had been and, all those things that was really a huge focus. Let's just get that first one. But now that we've got the first one, we know what it feels like. We know the expectation. We know the standard. We know how hard you have to play and how long you have to play at that level to win. Now let's build on it and keep getting better. So we're definitely not going to be satisfied with, finally just winning one game. We didn't come here to do that. We came here to do big things and push this program to be a Southland Conference contender, and we still got a long way to go before we're there. So we've definitely got a lot of work to do. So I don't think anybody's going to rest on our laurels with last week's win, even though it was very satisfying. We still got a lot to do, and our guys recognize that, and they're driven to do so.
Well, we were all happy to see the celebration that you all earned for the community, the school, you, your staff, the players. And, Coach, I appreciate your time. I know it's a big week. Good luck on the road the next couple weeks, and as you jump into conference play, we'll look forward to covering you here on Game Notes, and hopefully later in the season we can catch up again. We'll talk a little more and see how things are going, if that's all right with you.
Anytime, Victor. I appreciate you guys having me.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, Coach. We certainly appreciated Coach in his time as he's getting ready to go to Minnesota. As he mentioned, it's an experience. It was a tough loss. They'll have to learn from it. They turn back around to get ready to go to Cincinnati out of the Big 12 before they go then to Prairie View and then a bye week. So they'll get back and start conference play once they get into October. By the way, that game coming up at Cincinnati, they'll be facing a 1-1 team because Cincinnati on Saturday was 14 points better than Bowling Green to get its first win of the season. You hear him talk about the makeup of this team. We'll see if the Demons can then start a new win streak when they get back on the road.